In April 2026, an American F-15E Strike Eagle is shot down over southern Iran. The pilot ejects safely, but the weapons officer falls miles behind enemy lines. Known by his call sign Dude 44 Bravo, the officer evades capture. He spends the next 36 hours hiding in a narrow mountain crevice while hostile forces actively hunt for him. The military has a serious problem. The airman's automated survival beacon transmits an encrypted signal to overhead satellites, but it only provides a general radius. The rugged, rocky terrain blocks thermal imaging and renders visual spotting impossible. The search area spans 1,000 square miles of hostile desert. Locating one stationary, camouflaged human in this environment using conventional methods is nearly impossible, leaving the airman with very low odds of rescue. Then, under the cover of darkness, U.S. Special Forces arrive at his exact coordinates and extract him safely. Shortly after the rescue, the government offers a public explanation for how they found him. They point to a highly classified tool developed by Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works, codenamed Ghost Murmur. According to the CIA, Ghost Murmur is an airborne system that can pinpoint a person from 40 miles away. It does this by remotely sensing the faint electromagnetic pulse generated by a beating heart. The idea of an omniscient, long-range heartbeat tracker reads like science fiction, and almost immediately, physicists and biomagnetism researchers step forward to point out a major issue with the government's story. To understand the skepticism, we have to look at the real medical science Ghost Murmur claims to use: magnetocardiography. Every time your cardiac muscle cells contract, they generate a genuine, measurable magnetic field. The Ghost Murmur leaks claim the system detects this field using quantum sensors. These sensors rely on nitrogen vacancy centers, microscopic defects engineered into synthetic diamonds. When illuminated with a green laser, the electron spin state in these defects shifts in response to local magnetic fields. Physicists call this the Zeeman effect. The system supposedly pairs this quantum hardware with artificial intelligence. The AI is trained to filter out the chaotic electromagnetic interference of the Earth and isolate the specific 1 Hz rhythm of a human pulse. This diagram illustrates the AI's processing task. It acts like an audio filter at a crowded stadium. It scans a massive block of static data, created by geology, electronics, and local wildlife, to pull out the one rhythmic signature of a human heart. On paper, combining synthetic diamond quantum sensors with AI pattern recognition creates a surveillance tool that no one can hide from. But experts in quantum sensing argue these public claims clash with decades of peer-reviewed physics. This scale diagram highlights the first problem. A heart's magnetic field is incredibly weak, roughly 1/1000th the strength of Earth's natural magnetic field. Furthermore, magnetic fields obey the inverse cube law. As this graph shows, signal strength drops to near zero as distance from the source increases. In a laboratory, measuring a heartbeat with magnetocardiography requires sensors placed mere centimeters from the chest, often relying on cryogenic cooling and heavy magnetic shielding. The CIA claims Ghost Murmur did this in open air, from 64 kilometers away. Detecting a human heartbeat from 40 miles away requires sensors trillions of times more sensitive than any device described in modern physics. No amount of AI can recover a signal that has physically disappeared into the magnetic background of the planet. If the math proves a 40-mile quantum heartbeat detector is physically impossible, it raises a question: why did the CIA intentionally leak its existence to the press? When a state-sponsored leak violates basic physics, the story is more valuable than the invention. This type of high-level disinformation serves to protect the actual, classified methods used during the rescue. By directing global attention to a flashy story about synthetic quantum diamonds, the U.S. military successfully hides the actual operational methods they used to locate the downed airmen in the dark. The leak also serves an offensive purpose. The sensational story forces adversary nations to waste millions of dollars, time, and intelligence resources trying to counter or replicate an omnipotent surveillance technology that doesn't actually exist. By the time an adversary proves the math is impossible, they've already spent years trying to counter a threat that doesn't exist. In the Iranian desert, the most influential asset turned out to be the lie itself.